Have you ever wondered why some people spend their whole lives lighting the way for others, only to end up drowning in their own darkness? We often confuse being loved with being needed. Feeling needed gives us a fake sense of power. It makes us feel important and worthy. We open our hearts, we give everything, and we exhaust ourselves, trying to heal every broken soul that comes our way. But there is a brutal truth. People only look for a lamp when it's dark. Once the sun comes up, that lamp is often forgotten in a dusty corner. Stay with me until the end, because this story is more than just a tale. It's a mirror. Look into it and ask yourself, are you being loved for who you are? Or are you just being consumed for what you can do? In a small coastal town in California, where the waves crash against the cliffs, like a reminder of patience, lived a woman named Sarah. Sarah wasn't flashy. She had the beauty of a sunset, gentle and quiet. Everyone called her Everyone's Sarah. If someone lost their job and needed a warm meal, they went to Sarah. If a young couple fought at midnight, they knocked on her door for advice. Even lost children knew they were safe as soon as they saw her house number. Sarah lived with a deep belief. Her value on this earth was measured by how much pain she could carry. For others, she felt at peace when she was busy with the world's problems, because if she stopped, she was afraid she'd have to face the emptiness in her own soul. Sarah's husband, David, was a talented architect, but his soul was cracked by his past. David was a man of extremes. When work was good, he was wonderful, bringing her flowers and praising her sacrifices. But when he was stressed, he pulled away like a porcupine. For years, Sarah learned to read his every frown. She quietly made him warm coffee, kept the house silent so he could think, and endured weeks of cold silence. She told herself, he needs me most, right now. This is love. I am his safe harbor. She didn't realize she wasn't a harbor. She was a tireless ship repairman, and David only stopped by for maintenance before sailing away. Again, Sarah's best friend was Chloe. Chloe was bright, loud, and always in the middle of a crisis. She would call Sarah at 2 a.m. just to cry about a man who betrayed her. Sarah would sit and listen, staying up all night to give Chloe strength. But there was an unwritten rule. The conversation always started with Chloe and ended with Chloe. Whenever Sarah tried to speak about her own tiredness, Chloe would accidentally cut her off with a new dramatic detail. Sarah would just smile and step back. She was proud of being the most patient friend, not realizing she was becoming a trash can for everyone else's emotions. Then there was Noah, a neighbor boy Sarah had looked after since high school. She paid for his extra classes, cooked him nutritious meals, and listened to his big dreams. Noah often said, "Sarah, you're the savior of my life." Those words were a sweet poison that kept Sarah giving without thinking. Even when she had to cut her own budget to help him, everything changed. One harsh winter, Sarah suddenly fell very ill. It wasn't just a fever, her body simply collapsed. After years of being ignored, she had to stay in the hospital for a long time. On the first day, everyone showed up. David brought flowers, Chloe brought fruit, and Noah looked worried. By the third day, David started complaining about the messy house and how he couldn't find his socks. He said, "Try to get well soon. Everything is a mess without you." He needed a housekeeper, not a wife, to share her pain. By the 7th day, Chloe arrived, with her phone glued to her hand. She spent 5 minutes asking about Sarah, and the next 55 minutes talking about her boss. When Sarah closed her eyes from exhaustion, Chloe stood up and said, "I'll let you rest. I'm so stressed too. Let's grab coffee when you're better, so I can vent." Noah was nowhere to be found. He sent one short text. "I'm busy with exams. I'll stop by when you're out of the hospital." Lying in that hospital bed, Sarah saw everything clearly for the first time. She looked at the dying flowers Chloe had brought on day 1. No one had changed the water, just like her. When she was no longer strong enough to care for others, she was left to wither, alone. In the silence of that room, Sarah realized a painful truth. Being loved and being needed are two completely different things. Being needed is when they love what you do for them. Being loved is when they love the person lying right here, weak, useless, and unable to help anyone. Sarah realized she had been feeding the selfishness of those around her by always being there, always saying yes, and always sacrificing. She took away their chance to grow up and learn how to truly love. She had turned herself into a convenient appliance. No one truly loves a washing machine. They only appreciate it when it works well. After leaving the hospital, Sarah often sat alone on a wooden bench under an old oak tree, watching the waves. There, she met Elias, a retired shipbuilder with eyes as calm as a lake. Seeing her stare into space, Elias sat down and said quietly, "You know, Sarah, a good ship isn't one that carries everyone. It's one that is strong enough not to sink under the weight of its cargo." Sarah turned, her voice trembling. "I spent my life protecting others, but when I fell, I was alone. Did I live my life wrong?" Elias smiled and handed her a carved piece of wood. The ancient Stoics had a simple idea: the inner citadel. They taught that you can only control what is in your own mind. Other people's gratitude or kindness is out of your control. You help a neighbor because you choose to be a good person. That is freedom. But if you help them just so they will love you, you've made yourself a slave to their feelings. He pointed to a lighthouse in the distance. A lighthouse doesn't run down the beach, searching for ships to save. It stays in one place and keeps its own light burning. If it burned itself down to shine bright just once, the ships would be lost forever. Sarah, don't confuse sacrifice with self-destruction. You must keep oil in your own lamp if you want to light the world for a long time. His words were like cool water for Sarah's parched soul. For the first time, she understood that saying no to others was how she said yes to her own life. Sarah stood before her mirror, wearing a sea green dress, couple a bright color David once called too much. But today, she didn't see a wife trying to please her husband. She saw a woman finding herself. She bought it with her own savings, feeling the silk against her skin like a hug for all the years she had forgotten herself. When the phone rang at midnight, Sarah didn't rush to pick it up. Chloe started complaining about a bad date. Sarah took a deep breath and said firmly, "Chloe, I'm sorry you're having a hard time, but I'm exhausted tonight. I need to rest. Let's talk this weekend, when I can actually listen to you properly." Silence. Then Chloe snapped, "You've changed, Sarah. You've never been this selfish." She hung up. For a week, there was silence. But in that silence, Chloe had to face her own storms, without Sarah to fix them. She realized how much she had been draining. Her friend, a text came. "On Saturday night, how are you doing today?" Truly, I realized I never asked that. It was the first brick of a real friendship. At home, Sarah stopped being the repairman. She let David face his own silences. When he grumbled because dinner wasn't ready, Sarah said calmly, "I've had a long day too, and I need to rest. If you're hungry, we can cook together, or you can make something simple for yourself." Oh, David was stunned, but because she stopped serving him, he began to actually see the woman sitting on the balcony, reading a book. He realized she wasn't a piece of furniture. He saw the smart, independent woman that he had fallen in love with. Years ago, he started asking real questions. "What are you reading? Can I help you with that?" He stopped taking her for granted when Sarah refused to pay for Noah's car repair and said, "I believe you can handle this," to yourself. He looked at her like an abandoned child. He was angry for a month, but without Sarah's safety net, Noah had to take extra shifts at a cafe and learn to manage his money. 3 months later, he showed up with a job and a driver's license. He said, "I was so mad at first, but because you said no, I found out how strong I actually am. Thank you for not letting me stay a child forever." Sarah felt a weight lift. She realized when she stopped doing everything for them, she gave them the chance to become real men. Kindness without boundaries is actually self-destruction. If you are always the one holding the umbrella for others in the rain, there will come a time when you are shivering from the cold, while the person you are protecting is complaining that your umbrella is too small. Real love doesn't come from being a slave. It comes from respect. People who truly love you will worry when they see you exhausted, long before they worry about who will do their chores. Remember this: you are not a tool. You are not a 24/7 support service. You are a human being with limits, pains, and needs. The moment you start setting boundaries, your world will be filtered. The users will leave in anger, but the ones who truly love you will stay and learn how to cherish you the way you deserve. Keep giving, but give from a full heart, not from a leaking soul that is begging for approval. Light your lamp, but don't burn yourself down, just to warm those who won't even bring their own wood to the fire. If Sarah's story made your eyes tear up, or made you realize you also have a house with no locks, take this as a hug from me to you. You are not alone on this journey of learning to love yourself. I want to give you a challenge, not to be selfish, but to find your freedom. Right now, close your eyes and ask, if tomorrow you had nothing left to give, no money, no help, no patient listening, who would still be sitting there next to you? Don't be afraid. If the answer hurts, loneliness in the truth is better than the fake warmth of being used. Your challenge this week is simple. Try saying no to one request that you usually say yes to, just because you're afraid of upsetting someone. Use that time for yourself. Buy that dress, take a walk, or just sit quietly with a cup of tea. Watch the reactions. Those who get angry need your usefulness. Those who understand and worry about your tiredness are the ones who truly love you. Don't wait until you're sick like Sarah to start setting boundaries. You are not a machine. You are a soul that needs to be nurtured. Start today. Stop being a pit stop for travelers and start building a sanctuary for yourself. If you accept this challenge, leave a comment. I choose to love myself. And if you know someone who is burning themselves out for others, share this video with them. Sometimes, a well-timed message can save a life. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can grow more seeds of awakening together. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next story of healing.